All right, I'm switching up direction here with this video, and I can do that because this is my channel, so I can talk about what I want to talk about when I want to talk about it. And I feel compelled to talk about this because I was reminded of this recently, and I'd sort of forgotten about it for a while. And I'm not going to get personal in any way, um, but it made me uh, re-examine some of what I had known, but had maybe not paid as much attention to, um, or hadn't thought about for a while. And it is this, okay? Since we're, uh, if we're talking about male loneliness, if we're talking about the so-called incels, if we're talking about, the 80/20, how social media has messed up dating and courtship, and how everything's gone to shit between men and women and all that, all those kinds of things, which are quite relevant to modern times, to 2023. Then I think there's something that there's a certain type of female behavior that I wanted uh, to recapitulate. Maybe this is something I haven't even talked about before. And as I said, I'm not I'm not someone who typically gets into this kind of thing here. It's not the focus of my channel most of the time. But I have the impression that most of my audience are younger men, and they look up to me because I'm such an icon, and I'm such a fount of wisdom. And so let me tell you, young men, about something that perhaps you haven't thought of, and perhaps this is something you should be wary of when it comes to the behavior of some women. Okay, I'll just say some women, um, especially in modern times where everything is askew and the worst possible behavior is encouraged. The worst aspects of femininity are encouraged, or rather, proper femininity is undermined at every turn. Proper masculinity is undermined at every turn. We know that. We know that's part of what's going on. Everything is wretched. It's the way things are, and we know it. We know it. We all know it. But here's something um, that women do to be on the lookout for this. Um, you hear a lot about male loneliness, and you hear about men never getting compliments, never getting attention. The broad swath, the vast majority of guys just going through life, just being habituated to never getting attention from women. Um, and when it happens, when someone says, "Oh, I like your shirt," or something like that, then it's like, "Oh!" it's like this. It's like this transcendent moment, and they remember it forever. Um, and it's all of that is true. But what about the times when you might experience like that, something like this? Maybe you have experienced something like this. What about the times when you meet someone who seems to be really interested in you, who seems to really like you, and who seems to be flirting with you, not in any kind of coarse or totally overt sort of way, but who just seems, from what she's saying, just that you get the impression that she's quote unquote into you. and it's a real ego boost, and it's like, wow, okay, what's maybe I should look into this. Maybe she's interested in me. Maybe she's sending me signs, and maybe I should follow up on. Maybe she's giving me hints, and I should take those hints and ask her out or do whatever, or try to contact her again, and then you find afterwards that 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 initial uh, exchange where she was talking to you as if she were interested in you, as if she were uh, um, perhaps attracted to you. Um, that that's just like a one-off. It's a one and done. you know, it never happens again. You contact her again, or you try to contact her, but she never gets back to you, or you try to engage her in conversation again, and she's polite and civil, but she's not like that again, and with you, and maybe you find out she's got a boyfriend, and so on and so forth, and so you're just left thinking, what the hell? What just happened here? Why? I know. You think to yourself, I know I wasn't just I wasn't just being delusional. I know how someone acts when they're interested in another person, um, and I know how I know how to. It's not like I just they were all. It's not like you know and that's the thing I want to also emphasize. Like, it would be so easy to quote unquote gaslight this kind of guy. I don't like the word gaslight, but I'm using it here with quotation marks. Um, I generally don't like the word just because it's just a overly emotional word. It's just a word that gets used too often. Um, but it would be easy to just say to the guy, well, come on, just because she was talking to you, she's just being nice. Come on. Don't be an idiot. Don't. I mean, don't be flattered. Don't flatter yourself. That's like something that they love to say, that people love to say to put other people down. Don't flatter yourself. You're like, well, I wasn't flattering myself. It was flattering, but I didn't think I was flattering myself. It seemed like I was reacting to something that was actually, I was reacting to a type of energy that I was truly, legitimately getting off of this person, off of this woman. Um, and then that was it. It was a one and done. And so then you're left frustrated and also mystified. Well, here is the thing, and this is maybe going to be controversial. I don't know, but I've put it this way before. Um, and hardly anybody reads my Twitter, but and when I was on Facebook, I actually had a lot of people reading it, and I could write some stunningly clever aphorism and get tons and tons of likes, and I'll be like, wow, I'm so clever, yeah, look at me. Uh, until I got zucked, and now I don't get that anymore, which is probably for the best, because my dopamine receptors were just getting overrun, overindulged a lot of the time. But so I still sometimes feel the need to spin uh, some aphorism or other, and uh, I said recently on Twitter that for women, attention is like sex, and that for men, sex is like sex. And there's truth to that. They I mean, especially for, I would say for a certain type of woman, for maybe a woman who's not uh, uh, as mature, or maybe is more insecure, and just I don't know, feels the need uh, um, to be validated. How do you get validation? Well, if you're a girl or a woman, um, you can get validation by talking to a guy who you may not like, who you may even see as being beneath you, or not dateable, because he's not in the he's not in the sweet spot. He's not in the top 10 or top 15 of the type of men who are actually seen as dateable. But somebody that will, if you're a woman, will respond well to flattery. And it's like, you flatter him, you compliment him, you treat him as if you're interested in him, over the course of an exchange or two. And you do this, and it's like, yeah, look at this. He's interested. I'm getting his attention. This is so validating. This validates that I am attractive, you know. But it's not. I would never actually want want to pursue a relationship with this guy. Um, I'm just you know like I'm just testing my powers to make sure that they're still, that my powers are still there, that I haven't lost that, because an insecure woman lives in fear that she's lost her appeal. Um, the some of the red pill guys talking about hitting the wall. I'm not even necessarily talking about that. I don't really dwell on concepts like that, but just uh, a woman needs validation, and as I said before, attention is, if a woman is aware that she's getting attention, you know, for being attractive, that is something that for her is uh, is validating in the same way that for a man having sex is validating. Because a man having sex is valid. A man, let's say, finding a girlfriend, or hopefully a wife, and having a healthy sex life with her, and knowing that she enjoys being with you in that way. That's validating you uh, as a, as a man. Of course, it's pleasurable and all that, but it also and it also it's something that helps you grow together as a couple. That's the purpose it's intended to serve. Um, it's supposed to be strengthen the marital bond. That's what sex is supposed to do. But but in any case, sex has a validating effect for men. And in addition to the pleasurable effect that it has, and the pleasure and the validation, I think are feed off of one another. Whereas for a woman, like, a woman knows that even if she's ugly, she could she could have sex with anyone. Uh, really. So she could, because she could make herself. Um, just she could just throw herself at a bunch of guys, and one of them's gonna want to be with her, and that's not. There's nothing validating about that, but there is something validating about getting talking to a guy and getting and flirting with him and getting him to think, uh, that oh wow, she might like me. She's talking to me like, and getting that kind of attention, and knowing you're stirring that up in a man's mind, that's like sex to a woman. As I said, for women, attention is like sex. For men, sex is like sex. So, what I would say to the young men out there who are still finding their way, navigating the minefield of gender relations in the current year, I would just say be on the lookout, be skeptical, be dubious. I'm not saying like if a girl is nice to you, I'm not saying to just say, huh, get away from me. I know what you're up to. Like, you can be nice back, and you can feel feel good about the exchange and all that. That's going to happen. But just at the same time, question it, and don't take it too seriously, because it's not uncommon, and it's something that I had forgotten. It's something that it is behavior that is so I won't say common, but I will say not uncommon, and I had forgotten that until recently, and I through observation, I rediscovered that this was the case. So, and if you've got to protect your ego. I mean, I'm not saying that your ego is everything. I'm not saying when I say ego, I mean you've got to not feel like like a loser who's been had. You've got to not react to these kinds of situations by thinking to yourself, "Wow, this is really something. Maybe this is going to go somewhere," and then she never reacts that way to you again, or she even ghosts you after that. With like you say, ghosts today. That's new terminology, but it's not terminology that I grew up with, but I understand the meaning of it. So, just a humble bit of advice from an older man who's about to pass on. From someone who's reaching the end of his the end of his walk. No, I don't want to be too dramatic here, but I am getting old. That's something to consider. So, anybody had experiences like this, or anybody want to comment on my comments on these kinds of experiences? Leave them below. I'd be interested to hear what anybody has to say. Thank you very much for watching.